Hello, ladies and gents, Captain Shaq here, and welcome back to Space Engineers. Today we're going to be looking at a mod that's being built inside the community that was released as a prototype today. We actually managed to have a battle with 16 players, 3 of which were commanding Star Destroyers, the rest in a Hammerhead gunship and a bunch of X-Wings. Now, what's crazy about this test, and the whole point of it, was to show that how can we have very large ships without bringing servers to their knees? Because the problem that we have when we're using normal builds in Space Engineers is that there are between like 15 and 30,000 blocks that the server has to keep up with. Not only that, but your graphics cards are going to have to actually render everything that's going on in the battle. It gets a little much, and very quickly, if you saw in that last video that I've done, where we attacked a Star Destroyer, a traditional one, the sim speed dropped down to like 0.2, 0.3. It was pretty crazy and not very playable. So one of the solutions that we came up with was, let's get a modeled Star Destroyer. So we take a mod, pop it into the game that is actually a Star Destroyer broken up into pieces, and then have that be those capital ships. So we can adjust how much health they are, how heavy they are, how fast they move, based on those broken up pieces. Now, what you're gonna see today is the results of that testing. We actually managed to have not just one Star Destroyer like in the last video, but 3 crewed, with 1 person each flying them, actually controlling the turret. So they're manually firing those turrets using the turret mod. I cannot remember the name of it. I'll put a link in the description for it, where you can hold Alt and actually aim and fire in third person. And then we had everybody else jump into X-Wings and dogfight the thing, and we had 1 Hammerhead just to add some extra, fun in there. And it worked great. 1.0 sim speed for the entire battle. Completely successful test. That's very exciting. One of the things that you will notice in the battle is the ISDs kind of getting whipped around, and that's because this really early version, the parts of the ISD is actually made up of not very many components, so it's actually really light, and the force that's impacted or imparted onto these ships by missiles exploding on their hull is actually throwing them a bit. It's a fairly easy thing that I think we can fix without an issue. But that's, if you're wondering what the weirdness is with these almost dancing Star Destroyers, that's what's happening. So I have to say thank you to Corey from Thrawn's Revenge for allowing us to use his ISD model from that mod. It is working out great. There's a lot of things that we can still do, but this is a proof of concept of what could be done, not just with like Star Wars mods, but for almost any large ship that people want to add into the game. We haven't really seen anyone do this yet. And it doesn't mean that you're not going to have the subsystem. So think about, if you've ever played Empire at War, you're going to recognize this. Having the ship broken up into pieces. So the turrets that you see on here are actually turrets that stand by themselves. We can have different subsystems that are individual blocks all over this ship that do different things. So like one panel on the side could easily be the cargo panel. One panel could be, the thrusters for braking thrust, or the bottom reactor, where the reactor is actually in the lore supposed to be, could easily be the reactor for the ship, generating power for the whole thing. Meaning, as a Rebel player, you'll be able to target and take out subsystems. And as you break off pieces of the hull, it wouldn't, I don't think, be too difficult for us to have pieces of the ship actually break apart, break off, be destroyed, like you normally see in Space Engineers when you damage a block a certain amount. But then behind that block, have a damaged texture be revealed, and then have all, the smoke and the particle effects that you normally see when you take damage to a reactor or refinery or anything like that. Meaning, very much like Empire War, you can target subsystems and work together to take those subsystems out. Now, this was proof of concept, so we don't have any systems like that in here, but it worked out amazingly well. So, after a couple of successful tests fighting with 16 players, I threw this up on the dedicated rig that's actually sitting behind me right now. I have another PC running, and we ran 30 players. Now, my rig isn't the best for hosting a server in Space Engineers, but we wanted to just kind of push it to the limit. I thought 30 players would be the limit on this one, and it worked out pretty friggin' well. I mean, I got one shot, and we definitely felt a lot of rubber banding and a lot of lag. So maybe 30 is a bit much for this PC. But overall, worked out fantastically. I'm super excited for the future. If you want to test this out yourself, you're more than welcome to. I'll put a link in the description below. This is the ARMCO Star Destroyer prototype. From here, it'll be interesting to see where we go with it next. Currently, in the works, Spacebar is working on the Y-Wing kit, so we're going to have a new cockpit and engines, and actually a gunner's seat and a turret for the Y-Wing. And I believe that's going to be almost it for phase 1 of this mod. We're still looking, the modders are still working on putting in, we're going to need, what was it, a blockade runner, and then the next thing was going to be an Arquintans for the Empire to kind of get those early ships done, and then getting bigger from there. My hope is to be able to run maybe a server that we get, a certain amount of people on with decent microphones and be able to actually play and have fun battling it out, mining, trading, gathering resources and credits, and then having big events like attacking Star Destroyers that are almost to scale or like 1/3 the scale during the event. There's all kinds of things we can do. We've also got Lucas doing a lot of scripting stuff. He's actually making a script for us that'll bring the world to life, actually have AI running TIE fighters and stuff. So, all right, guys, I leave you now with a few shots from the actual testing. Enjoy, and I will see you in the next video. Later, everybody. Cloud of X-Wings starting to come down on them. Now, they don't have a lot in the way of shields. We have way too many Imperials. I wonder if too many Imperials switch sides. So this isn't even all like 20-something X-Wings. Oh, I love it so much. All right, open your S-foils into attack position. Let's get ready to do this. Begin your attack run. Good luck, gentlemen. And the real trick is we're gonna keep an eye on that server sim speed. We're gonna keep an eye on our actual sim speed. And we're gonna be kind of a spectator in this fight. This is us pushing it to the brink. To the brink on a server that can't really handle it. Maybe. Server sim is only 80%. We're down to 7.7 locally. Now we're back up to 1.0. They've begun their attack run. Oh, there's a little bit of lag. We are feeling a bit of lag. I'm going to try to catch up to the hammerhead there to kind of escort him. All right, X-Wing, start making your attack run. What the hell? Why did I teleport back here? The game is so confused right now. We're rolling forward. Let's escort him. Stick it with him, boys. The Empire's shown up with 3 Imperial Star Destroyers directly ahead. They found our Rebel squadron. I didn't turn on the weapon systems. Oh my god, it's 1.0 sim speed! Shields are already failing on the left one. We'll reload this. Oh man, we're putting this on the dedicated server. We're getting more players in on this. This is crazy. Now remember, we can get easily one-shotted. Come on, boys. You haven't taken out that left Star Destroyer. And they're manually using those guns. All right, I'm putting it in slide mode. Opening up. Okay, time to not do that. Run. Run, Luke, run. Forming back up with the hammerhead. Form up with the hammerhead. We can all strike at once. We gotta take out those shields. We gotta hit them hard so the shields come down. I look back over at my game and I'm freaking falling out of the sky. How dare you? How dare you? All right, guys, let's break the server. I'm turning on all the things. Go ham. Go ham. Everything's on. Go ham. Go nuts. Fly, break, crash, explode. All of it in the world. It's the ARMCO end times. I don't have my go nuts. The first thing it's like, oh yeah, warheads. We need warheads. Let's turn on sim speed. Oh, that's good. That's great. It's the end times. No. Fantastic. Sim speed on the server. CPU load 90%. Server sim speed at 0.8, I think is what I saw it at. This is fine. This is all fine.